Okay, let's go there, people, shall we? Let's dive into the medieval world. Let's see if I can get this together, right? This is how power works. This is how it's been working on our psyche for, like, I don't know, over 1,000 years now. So at some point, you can kind of, like, for England, it begins obviously 1066 with that bastard coming into England, that little conqueror fella with his marauding mafia friends, right? And they invade England. Let's just stick with England because I know England really well, and Germany partially is important there as well as an example, right? So these these mafia people, these warring knights, these strong men with horses and weapons, come and fall into, the blissful, beautiful, the bonny little England from back there, and they obviously, kill poor Harold, and then off they go, building their little fortresses that served sort of two purposes. First of all, demonstration of military power and prowess. Secondly, sort of selling the idea that, this is for your safety, people. So, all the chaps that came along with these bastards, right? All their mobster friends who also built their little castles and had their little fiefdoms would constantly go around and maraud through the countryside and steal and plunder and rape and pillage all the villages, to make the people insecure and frighten them to bits and whatnot. So then the castle lord here would promise safety if you just, pay me taxes and go to war for me and give me your youngest and blah, blah, blah. You can come in here when my marauding bodies come and take your shit, right? So here you go. You sell your sovereignty because you can't stand up to these marauding buggers because you're just not strong enough. You haven't got the means to supply yourself with the weaponry needed or train the horses that because you're not the same caste, right? You're the peasant caste. You can barely scrape a living, right? And the warrior caste besets you from all angles, and you just get gaslit from every angle possible, because they're all working together secretly, right? And then of course they feud amongst each other as well, because they're like, marauding bastards and psychopathic, mafiosi. And then that sort of expands from the castle to then, the country, and you then end up, paying the king your duty, and the king keeps you safe because he constantly, of course, starts the fights with other kings. So to keep the population busy and keep them poor and exploit them so they can have their wars with one another. And then whenever they meet, of course, they roll the red carpet out for one another. At least in the early times, you had the king at least sort of have the gumption and the power of their own conviction, and they led their army into battle. All that stopped, I believe, round about Henry. I think Henry VII was the last one, wasn't he? Somewhere around that time, it all went out of fashion that the kings got involved on their own horses and whatnot. And in Germany, you had everything. You had like 700 competing little bishoprics and little fiefdoms where they stopped you at the border and took taxes from you if you wanted to trade with your next door neighbor. Hey, hoopla, all the import duties we have to pay right now just to punish the small man. If you want to sell your cloth to somebody in the UK now, the poor buggers have to pay 23.5% import duty, right? Because, hey, we need our money here so we can have more wars, so we can have less people, and we've got to frighten the people of all the other warlords, right? Come to my castle. I give you safety. This is how it's been working for like thousands of years, guys. And they're all mafiosis. All of them. They have been back then, and nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. The whole sort of way of doing this has not changed whatsoever. Yeah, and up to then, people used to be sort of interesting to these mobsters, and they had a use for us at least. And well, now that they have invented their little buddies, their little future servants, they don't need us any longer, really. And we've become somewhat surplus to requirement now, haven't we? We have been their pets for a long time now, really. I had a friend who used to say they keep us as their pets. and now the pets are no longer viable, guys. And that's why Trump keeps talking about the golden age now coming, right? Because it's gonna be their golden age.